On Friday the 19th of February, I took my first flex day off work and headed down to Sydney. As well as visiting a few friends over the weekend, I had one key goal: to catch a C-set train before they were all gone, and I failed. So here's a video of me trying, which should double up as a very comprehensive K-set review. After a 2.5 hour journey down from Newcastle on a V-set, I arrived at Central, checked any trip, and saw a C-set run due in about 8 minutes. Naturally, I ran over to platform 20, and as the Waratah Series 2 departed on the opposite platform, I watched a silver train approach. And, as it approached, it was not to be. K-set K79 clunks along, coupled with K76, which I caught. Oh well, at least I was on my first suburban silver set. And the K-sets have one big benefit over the C-set: reversible seats. Being able to flip the seats around is great for passenger comfort, as almost all passengers can face in the direction of travel if they wish. The K-sets also have these vinyl bench seats, which were similar to what was used on the S-sets before they were retired in 2019. The C-set, on the other hand, used seats that were like those on the Tangaras, although they never got retrimmed in cloth like the Tangaras did a few years back.
Please stand clear.
But like the Tangara, you can't flip the seats around on the C-set. Anyway, since we're now heading out of the tunnel and into Circular Quay Station, let's enjoy the view. After my train departed, I decided to head down the stairs to Circular Quay, and I came across a craft brewery which had a pretty apt name. I hope my chances of catching a C-set aren't none and Buckley's. Alrighty, so I have migrated to just outside Redfern Station because last time we tried to jump on board a C-set, it turned out that it wasn't one. So we're going to try again in just a bit because apparently this time round there's another one about 10 AM that should be coming through here because I want to try one out. The K-set is really cool, but you know, they might be around for a little bit longer. Apparently the C-set series trains are going to be gone in the next couple of weeks, so time is ticking and let's try one out, hopefully. Okay, so while we're waiting for this next train, which I really do hope is a C-set, I think it's time to talk about what makes the C-set so unique. Now, the C-set is quite an unusual train because it's effectively a hybrid of the earlier K-set and the Tangara. So the original Tangara was quite heavily delayed in the process because it was a very advanced train, so there was a delay, and it meant that trying to source parts and manage that delay meant that they needed more trains in the meantime. So that's where the C-set came in. In very, very general terms, it's basically a slightly modified K-set with a lot of the running gear that end up getting put into the Tangara, which means it has things like chopper control, which makes for a smoother ride because there's alternating current and important technical stuff that you should probably go and read about, but I haven't done at this point in time. They're quite a unique bit of kit, so for many enthusiasts, the C-set is probably considered the most interesting train in the fleet. So yeah, I thought I'd better have a look at one whilst I get the chance. And yeah, again, as people have said, they are not going to be around for long, probably only a couple of weeks. So this is the one chance I get to go to Sydney, so I may as well do it now. So I looked at AnyTrip and it says that this next train should be a C-set. Let's find out if it is. And alas, it was not. K93 and K65 were to be my next chariots, with K65 to be the one I caught. Like any K-set, they always clunk away from a standstill, and if you look around you'll see the carriage park brake, intercarriage doors and yellow handrails, which are iconic, along with that blue vinyl. Well, it looks like this C-set train review has turned out to be an accidental K-set review. Now, don't get me wrong, I think the K-set is a really cool train, but yeah, you know, they're not that difficult to catch during the week. That being said, I don't get to come to Sydney during the week very often, so today was my only chance to try and get a C-set. So yeah, today is my only chance to get a C-set. I don't think I can even go to the C-sets tour in a few weeks' time because I'm probably going to be doing something else. But yeah, fingers crossed I get some more luck throughout the day. Alrighty, so quick update. It's been just under an hour since I came last through Redfern. So as you remember, last time I was in this exact same spot looking at a C-set run, and a K-set rocked up. So we're going to try the same thing again and expect a different result, which I'm not sure if that's a great strategy. However, in the meantime, I have put up a poll on my social medias on advice for how to catch a C-set at the moment, and there were suggestions to wait for a T8 train, which is obviously not going to come through here at Redfern, but it looks like at the moment that almost all of them are on A and B set rosters, but maybe later in the day I might go off and do something else and not get too obsessed by this and come back to that later. Oh look, another C-set roster. Fingers crossed that it is indeed a C-set.
It's K-set. Oh well, 3 K-sets in a row.
And the moment of truth. We've got another K-set, K79, which I caught this time. And since I've got the carriage to myself, let's stay on board for a full journey between Redfern and Central. I must say, I've criticised Newcastle and Sydney buses for being dirty for a long time, but the trains now seem to be quite reasonable.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your City Circle service. Our next stop is Central, followed by Town Hall, Wynyard, Circular Quay, St James and the Museum. Next stop is Central. Change at Central for all other suburban services. For your intercity and regional service, as well as the light rail. Our next stop is Central.
And as we head into Central Station, you'll see this busy little bus layover filled with some state transit goodness. But after just a couple of minutes, we arrive at Central. Departing once more, and after the clunks of the carriages, let's check out the downstairs of this carriage as we head through the city circle. You'll find legroom is actually not too bad, but the interior design, it's definitely basic. Once in a tunnel, you can tell that the K-sets aren't that well insulated, and that the vinyl seats sometimes still rattle and creak. Fortunately, they are a fair bit quieter than the S-sets were, and the aircon is much better than the S-set, because it exists. We can't call these particular trains sweat sets, because on the day I caught them, the aircon was lovely and cool. But if you ever caught an S-set on a 45-degree day in Western Sydney, you'll agree that the S-set deserved its nickname. So I jumped off the train again and headed to my hotel before trying again and again. And of course, I managed to catch just another K-set instead, clunking away from Town Hall.
Well, the thing saying it was a K-set was right. It is a K-set, but it's a bit closer twice. So the next train says it's going to be a C-set, but we'll find out.
Next up is Wynyard, followed by circular queue. Next up, Wynyard.
And when you have a carriage all to yourself, you just have to flip that seat over again at least once, just to make sure it still works. It's also super satisfying to watch those doors close, listen to the air brake disengage and clunk away. This time, I'm in a driver's cab car, which has less windows, still has the same vinyl seats, warning stickers and austere design. Back at Circular Quay, another K-set comes around on the other side and another one pulls up in front of me. I understand why train enthusiasts do have a soft spot for the so-called silver sets, which include the S-set, K-set, C-set and V-set, of which only the K-set and V-sets remain in regular service. So now that I've got back to Redfern, here's another K-set on a C-set run, which seems to be a bit of a theme here. So I decided to change platforms and try my luck for another C-set run out to Liverpool via Bankstown. I headed over to the right platform, saw a silver train approaching, and of course, it was another K-set pair, K91 and K94, which I caught.
Next stop is St. Peter's.
Alrighty, so I was hoping that a couple of those tips would pay off, and that one of the runs labelled as a K-set would be the C-set. Unfortunately, that just hasn't quite turned out to be right today. Oh well, you know what? I've tried, and you know what often happens? When you stop trying to catch a train or you stop trying to look for it, it rocks up. So, fingers crossed, I can go and take it easy, do something else, and maybe just get a spot of luck. If not, well, there are some ways that we can do this, even if I can't go and catch a C-set for one more time.
As we head along towards Sydenham again, let's travel back up to the top deck of a slightly busier K-set as we pull into St. Peter's station. But before we depart again, let's get into prime position by the doors so we can see them closing as they should. Magically, I teleported back to Redfern again. Okay, I didn't, but I did catch a Tangara there instead. One bit of advice I got was sometimes C-sets would operate K-set runs, and I thought that I would try that strategy. Sadly, it didn't work out, but the driver of K74 decided that it would be a great opportunity to sound the horn as he pulled into Redfern Station and gave me a wave. But these are the sorts of train drivers we all appreciate anyway. So, let's go for a bit of a walk through the train as we're waiting to depart, including through those intercarriage doors. Unlike the V sets, which have enclosed gangways, the K, S and C sets are open, so walking between the carriages is a little bit less protected.
Doors closing. Please stand clear.
And guess what? Yet another K-set. This is turning into being an absolutely brilliant K-set review. Still haven't found a C-set yet though, so let's see what ends up happening.
As we head into Central Station, this K-set is racing a Waratah Series 2, which are the latest trains to enter the Sydney Train suburban fleet. Deliveries of the Waratah Series 2 led up to the retirement of the last S-sets, will replace the C-sets, and once the new intercity fleet is up and running, the V-set will be retired and the Oscar is scheduled to return to Sydney trains. Chances are the Oscar's return to suburbia would spell the end for the K-set. Now that I'm at Central again, I'm going to try and catch a T8 service, which is scheduled to be a C-set. And of course, as I eagerly waited for it to arrive, K93 and K89 arrive on the platform. Now, as much as I like the K-set, and I really appreciate being able to catch so many of them today, I was getting a little frustrated as it was already 5:30 PM and I was still yet to catch a C-set. So, in a last-ditch attempt, I waited for this Tangara to depart, and I thought that I would try one last train at this point. It was a T8 run, and scheduled as a C-set, which still sounded like my best chance. I flicked back and forth between menus on any trip, and a silver train approached in the distance. And as it approached, I could quickly tell it was another K-set. Disappointed, but not surprised. I decided to go for a quick ride on board and watch this train depart before I went to grab some dinner in town. After dinner, I saw one last C-set run on any trip, and I thought I may as well try my luck. And as it approached, you can see how this goes. K70 arrives onto the platform and I jump on board.
Doors closing. Please stand clear.
So given that I didn't actually manage to catch a C-set, you might be wondering how I could make an actual C-set review. And the truth is, I can't on my own, but if you've got some spare footage over to the side, I would definitely be keen to collaborate and do a talking planning style review. As always, my email and social media is in the description below at the end of the video if you're interested. So I got a few comments from people about why I didn't go on the SETS tour, which stands for Sydney Electric Train Society, by the way, but unfortunately it just wasn't an option for me. So the weekend of the tour, my parents decided to come and visit me for my birthday, and because of that, I'm not really convinced that I could go and say to them, I'm sorry, we can't spend the day together because I'm going down to Sydney to catch a 35-year-old train. That just wasn't going to go down well. But nevertheless, I tried my best to catch one, given I have a full-time day job and responsibilities to fulfill. So now that we're almost at the end, you're probably itching to see a CSET, and here it is, a blurry, out-of-focus photo I took when I visited Sydney last in February 2020. And that was the last time I caught one.
Alrighty, so it's about 10 past 6, and I've been out basically all day. I haven't...
The next train to arrive on platform 6 goes to Macarthur via airport stations. First stop, Circular Quay, then
Alright, come on, finish up.
Museum, Central, Green Square, Mascot, Domestic Airport, International Airport, Walnut Creek, Holsworthy, Glenfield, then all stations to Campbelltown, and then Macarthur.
Okay, as I was saying, I've been out basically all day, and I've caught tons of trains, and still did not manage to get a CSET. I really want to say thank you for all of your help and tips. Unfortunately, didn't get the chance to go on board one of those great classic trains, so this is the worst CSET review ever. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you again next time.